The galaxy had never seen anything like it. For centuries, alien empires had spread across star systems, conquering planets and enslaving civilizations. They had watched Earth quietly, dismissing it as primitive, a tiny blood in the vastness of space. But now, something was changing. On the bridge of the Terran Defense Station orbiting Mars, Admiral Kira Dane stared at the monitor with sharp eyes. A signal had just arrived, and it was unlike anything they had ever encountered. Not just strange, it was ancient, encoded in a pattern that matched no known alien or human technology. The transmission pulsed through the station, its rhythm almost alive, like it was calling out across the stars. "Admiral," said Lieutenant Voss, his voice trembling slightly. "This signal, it's coming from the far edge of the Orion expanse. It's huge, massive energy readings. I've never seen anything like this." Kira's jaw tightened. "Is it a weapon?" she asked quietly, though part of her knew the answer might terrify her. "We don't know. But whoever or whatever sent it, it is not from any civilization in our records." Far across the galaxy, in the heart of the Helix Dominion, Emperor Salric leaned over his command console. His fleet of warships hung in the void like dark stars, ready to respond to any threat. Yet even he felt a strange unease at the reports flooding in. Sensors had detected an anomaly near Earth's system, a burst of energy unlike any weapon the galaxy had seen before. Salric's claws tapped nervously against the console. "Earth," he hissed. "The humans are supposed to be weak. Primitive. Why now?" Back at the Terran Defense Station, Kira and her officers worked frantically. The signal grew stronger by the hour, its pulsing pattern almost hypnotic. The station's AI, Sentinel, analyzed the data at impossible speeds. "Admiral," Sentinel's calm voice said, "the signal's energy output is equivalent to the combined force of 30 war fleets. It is alive, in a sense. It reacts to observation, adapts, and seems to anticipate potential threats." Kira froze. "Alive? You mean it thinks?" Sentinel's response was almost chilling. "It is not thinking in human terms, Admiral. But it is intelligent. And it is waiting." The station shook as a sudden tremor ran through space. Alarms blared. Outside the observation window, the stars seemed to flicker, as if the universe itself was reacting. "Status!" Kira barked, gripping the edge of the console. Lieutenant Voss checked the readings. "The energy, it's forming a shape. It looks like a ship. Massive. Thousands of kilometers long. And it's moving toward the inner systems." Kira's heart pounded. The humans had spent centuries building defenses, but nothing in their history could match what was approaching. "Prepare all stations for immediate alert. Notify Earth Command. This is not just a signal. This is a warning." As the Terran fleet scrambled into position, alien monitoring stations across multiple star systems lit up with panic. No civilization had ever dared challenge the Helix Dominion, and now Earth, a planet they considered primitive, was sending a message that would echo across the galaxy. Far from the chaos, deep beneath the ice of Antarctica, a hidden human facility activated. Massive doors, buried for centuries, began to open, releasing a blinding blue light that cut through the darkness. Scientists and soldiers emerged, faces tense, knowing this was the moment they had trained for their entire lives. "This is it," said General Rail, the commander of the human strategic forces. "The galaxy thought we were weak. The galaxy thought we were ready to be conquered. They have no idea what we are about to do." Above Earth, satellites detected a sudden flare in the sky, followed by a ripple of energy that spread across the planet. Cities across continents felt it, a strange hum in the air, as if the planet itself had awakened. Humans everywhere paused, staring up at the sky, sensing a change but not knowing what it meant. In the Helix Dominion's capital, Emperor Salric screamed orders. "Destroy it! Stop Earth! No primitive planet can challenge us!" His war council scrambled, sending fleets hurtling toward the solar system. But for the first time in recorded history, the galaxy's greatest powers hesitated. There was a pause, a silent warning that no sensor or scanner could detect. Then, far beyond Mars, a single human warship emerged from the depths of space. Its hull gleamed like liquid metal, and strange blue light pulsed along its surface. It was unlike any ship the galaxy had ever seen, a creation of human genius and something far older, something awakened. The signal had been a beacon, a call to arms. And now, Earth had answered. As the massive ship glided toward the Helix fleets, Admiral Kira Dane spoke softly to herself, though her words carried the weight of the entire planet. They wanted to scare us. They thought we would hide. They have no idea what is coming. The first shot had not been fired yet. But the galaxy already felt the tremor of the storm that was about to break. And for the humans watching from their stations and cities, there was a quiet thrill. For the first time, they were not afraid. Because Earth had learned how to strike back. The Helix fleets were already in motion, their engines tearing through the void at impossible speeds. Thousands of warships, each armed with weapons that could destroy planets, converged toward the solar system. Commanders expected Earth to surrender, to crumble under the pressure of an empire far greater than anything humans could fight. But Earth did not tremble. In orbit above the planet, the massive human warship, the one that had emerged from the hidden depths of space, moved like a predator among the stars. Its hull shimmered with a strange blue energy that pulsed with every beat of the planet's signal. It was more than a ship. It was alive, in a way, and it knew what it had to do. Admiral Kira Dane stood on the bridge of the Terran Defense Station, her eyes locked on the approaching fleet. "All stations," she commanded, voice steady, "lock on their main battle groups. Activate defensive drones and shields. Prepare for first contact. And stay calm. This is what we trained for." Lieutenant Voss looked at her, worry written across his face. "Admiral, they outnumber us 1,000 to 1. Are we really ready for this?" Kira didn't answer immediately. She didn't need to. The warship's presence alone was enough to make the galaxy pause. Slowly, her lips curved into a small, confident smile. "We don't have to be ready. We have to be unstoppable." The first wave of Helix fighters arrived, sleek and deadly, streaking through space like metallic comets. Their mission was simple: destroy the human warship before it could unleash whatever terrifying power it held. The warship reacted instantly. Blue energy flared along its hull, forming a protective shield that pushed the attackers back like waves crashing against rocks. Laser beams struck the surface, but instead of burning or piercing, they were absorbed, converted into more energy for the ship. On the Helix flagship, Emperor Salric's eyes widened in disbelief. "Impossible," he roared. "No technology in the galaxy can withstand even one of our volleys, and yet, it's unharmed." Meanwhile, deep within Earth's hidden bases, scientists monitored the warship's movements. Dr. Lena Torres, one of the engineers who had helped awaken it, whispered to herself, "It's not just a weapon. It's a sentinel. It's protecting us, and it's learning." Back in space, the warship unleashed its first attack, not in destruction, but in sheer strategy. It fired beams of blue energy, carefully calculated to disable the Helix fighter's engines without destroying the ships entirely. Chaos spread across the enemy formations as fighters drifted helplessly, their pilots panicking at a weapon they had never imagined. In the Helix command, Salric banged his claws against the console. "Target its core. Fire everything. Show no mercy." The humans watching held their breath. Even with overwhelming numbers, the enemy could still break through. But the warship anticipated each move with precision that was almost preternatural. It dodged attacks, countered with energy pulses, and in minutes, the first wave of Helix forces was scattered. Kira Dane allowed herself a brief nod. "Keep the pressure. Remember, this is just the beginning." But the galaxy was already beginning to whisper in fear. Reports came from neighboring systems, alien scouts fleeing as news of Earth's warship spread like wildfire. A planet thought to be defenseless had risen with a weapon the galaxy could not comprehend. As the battle continued, another surprise emerged. From beneath the oceans of Earth, massive submersible vessels launched silently into orbit, joining the warship. They carried weapons that had been hidden for centuries, designed not just to fight, but to send a message: humanity would not surrender. The Helix forces began to falter. Fleets that had once been unstoppable now collided with each other in confusion. Communications failed, sensors overloaded, and panic spread among the alien ranks. Emperor Salric's fury grew with every report of destruction. No primitive race can challenge us. They will kneel. But the humans did not wait for negotiations. They struck with precision, each move calculated to maximize impact and minimize unnecessary destruction. The warship, guided by a combination of AI and something ancient, something human, moved with purpose. Each strike, each maneuver, was a lesson for the galaxy. Earth was not weak. Earth was prepared. And somewhere deep in the heart of the warship, a chamber glowed with a soft, blue light. A human silhouette stood there, calm and focused. General Rail observed the battle through the ship's sensors, his mind racing. He knew this was more than a fight for survival. This was a lesson. A lesson the galaxy would never forget. For the first time, humans felt a strange thrill. Fear had been replaced by excitement. The warship moved like a shadow across the stars, unstoppable, untouchable, and alive. And the Helix Dominion, the empire that had ruled without question for millennia, had no idea what was coming next. Because humanity had finally struck back. The galaxy had never seen fear spread so fast. Across countless star systems, alien fleets were in chaos, and the Helix Dominion, once feared by every civilization, now scrambled for survival. Their numbers were massive, their weapons deadly, but nothing could match what Earth had unleashed. Above the solar system, the human warship glided through space like a phantom. Its blue energy pulsed, cutting through the darkness, a silent warning to anyone who dared approach. Sensors on alien ships went haywire, unable to track its movements accurately. One moment it was in front of them, the next behind, then to the side. It moved like it knew their thoughts before they even had them. Admiral Kira Dane stood on the bridge of the Terran Defense Station, watching the enemy fleets scatter under the warship's attacks. She spoke to her officers in a calm voice that hid the adrenaline in her veins. They think numbers are enough. They think weapons alone can win this war. They are about to learn the first lesson: humans fight differently. Lieutenant Voss shook his head in disbelief. It's predicting their moves. They can't touch it. Every attack we saw them launch is failing. Kira nodded. That's exactly right. And it's only the beginning. On board the warship, in a chamber deep within its core, General Rail observed the chaos with a quiet intensity. The warship was alive, he realized. Not alive like a human, but it responded to threats as if it understood the value of every life it protected. Every strike it made was precise, calculated, deadly, but it never wasted energy or caused unnecessary destruction. It was more than a weapon. It was a sentinel. A guardian. In the Helix Command Center, Emperor Salric's face twisted with rage. Impossible, he bellowed. No ship, no AI, no weapon should be able to do this. How is this even happening? An officer trembled as he handed Salric a report. Sir, their warship, it's adapting. Every tactic we try, it counters within seconds. And it's teaching them. They're learning faster than we can attack. Salric slammed his claws against the console, sparks flying. Then change tactics. Send everything. The humans must be crushed today. Meanwhile, on Earth, citizens looked up at the sky. Satellites and sensors had detected strange energy surges, bright pulses in the atmosphere, almost like the planet itself was alive. People whispered in awe and fear. They didn't know exactly what was happening, but instinctively, they felt something powerful had awakened. Back in space, the warship shifted its strategy. Instead of chasing every fighter, it targeted the command ships of the Helix fleet. Massive energy beams struck, disabling engines and communications in seconds. Entire squadrons drifted helplessly as the humans continued their precise assault. One of the Helix admirals screamed over the comms. It's too fast. We can't coordinate. Retreat. Retreat. But retreat was no longer an option. Earth's warship had already cut off their escape routes, positioning itself like a predator surrounding its prey. It moved with such speed and precision that the Helix forces began to collide with one another, creating confusion and panic. In the human command center beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Lena Torres watched the battle unfold on massive holographic screens. She leaned closer, her voice trembling slightly. It's not just defending, it's teaching humans how to fight. Every time it moves, it's showing us strategies we've never imagined. General Rail nodded silently. Exactly. And when the galaxy sees what humans can do, they will never underestimate us again. Suddenly, the warship paused in orbit near Saturn. Its blue energy flared, forming massive arcs that shot toward distant Helix ships. The attack was surgical, precise, and devastating. Whole squadrons vanished in moments, leaving only wreckage drifting in the void. In the Helix Dominion, Salric felt panic creeping into his veins. The humans had not only survived, they were dominating. Entire fleets he had believed unstoppable were now in ruins. Send the dread ships, he ordered. If they want war, we will give them war. The humans watched quietly. They had expected reinforcements, but even the Helix's ultimate weapons seemed almost insignificant against the warship. Every attack failed before it reached them. The warship moved like a shadow across the stars, untouchable, unstoppable, alive. Kira Dane's voice rang clear across the Terran defense station. Keep moving. Don't stop. Remember, today is the first lesson. Humanity will not bow. Humanity will not run. Humanity will strike back. And the warship, pulsing with its mysterious blue energy, glided silently toward the heart of the enemy fleet. It was no longer just a battle. It was a warning. The galaxy had assumed Earth was weak. The galaxy had assumed humans could be conquered. Now, the galaxy would learn the terrifying truth. Earth was not weak. Earth was ready. And humanity had only just begun to fight. The battlefield around Saturn was silent for a brief moment. The wreckage of Helix warships floated through the void, burning like dying stars. The human warship hovered in the darkness, its blue energy pulsing slowly, like a giant heart beating in space. But the silence didn't last. From deep within hyperspace, massive Helix dreadnoughts began to arrive. They were colossal, larger than any ship humanity had ever built before. Their armored hulls were thick as mountains, their cannons capable of shattering moons. The dreadnoughts were the pride of the Helix Dominion, weapons of terror that had crushed countless civilizations. On the bridge of the Terran defense station, alarms screamed. Admiral Kira Dane stared at the new readings on the screen. They've brought their heavy ships, she said quietly. This is their real attack. Lieutenant Voss's eyes widened. Admiral, there are 12 dreadnoughts. Each of them carries a fleet. Kira straightened her shoulders. Her voice was calm, but inside, her heart was pounding. Then we stand our ground. Earth will not fall. The Helix dreadnoughts formed a battle line, their cannons charging with a deep red glow. The warship drifted toward them, small compared to their massive size, but strangely confident. It didn't slow down. In the Helix flagship, Emperor Salric leaned forward, a cruel smile stretching across his face. Now let's see how long their miracle ship can last against true power, he hissed. Fire everything. The dreadnoughts opened fire. Beams of destructive energy, powerful enough to tear planets apart, raced toward the warship. The void lit up like a second sun. For a heartbeat, humanity held its breath. Then the warship reacted. Its blue energy flared brighter than ever, forming a protective sphere around itself. The dreadnought's beams struck, but instead of breaking through, they bent and scattered, redirected into harmless arcs that vanished into the darkness. The energy shield shimmered like liquid glass, flawless and unbreakable. On the Terran station, cheers erupted. Kira allowed herself a small smile. Beautiful, she whispered. But the warship wasn't finished. It moved forward, faster than any dreadnought could track. In seconds, it was among them. Massive cannons swiveled to target it, but the warship danced between their attacks like a phantom. It struck with terrifying precision. Blue beams shot out, cutting through the dreadnought's shields like paper. One dreadnought exploded in a brilliant flash, torn apart from the inside. Another lost its engines, drifting helplessly towards Saturn's rings. On the Helix flagship, Salric's confidence cracked. "No," he roared. "This can't be happening." But it was happening. Meanwhile, deep beneath Antarctica, the hidden command center pulsed with activity. Dr. Lena Torres stared at the data streaming across her screen. "General, look at this," she said urgently. General Rail approached. His eyes narrowed. "What am I looking at?" "The warship isn't just fighting," Lena explained. "It's waking up more systems. There are ancient protocols activating that we've never seen before. Parts of the ship's core are coming online. This isn't its full power." Rail's heart skipped a beat. "You're telling me it's still holding back?" She nodded slowly. "Yes. It's been fighting at a fraction of its capacity. Something is guiding it." Back in space, the warship unleashed something new. Its blue energy condensed into a single massive beam, focused and precise. The beam struck the lead dreadnought, and in less than 3 seconds, the entire ship was sliced clean in half. The explosion that followed lit up the darkness like a sunrise. The other dreadnoughts hesitated. For the first time in history, Helix ships stopped their attack, not from orders, but from fear. Emperor Salric's voice cracked through the comms. "All ships, regroup. Regroup now." But it was too late. The warship moved like a hunter among prey, cutting through dreadnoughts one by one. Human fleets joined the assault, coordinated by the warship's guidance. Fighters weaved through the chaos, striking weak points the warship had exposed. Kira Dane watched from the station, amazed. "It's like the ship is leading us. Every maneuver, every strike, it's showing us what to do." Voss whispered. "Admiral, do you think it's alive?" Kira didn't answer. She didn't need to. Deep down, she already knew the truth. Far away, on the edge of the galaxy, alien observers from neutral civilizations watched the battle through long-range sensors. They saw something they had never seen before, Helix dreadnoughts falling one after another, and a single human warship controlling the fight like a god. Whispers spread across the stars. Fear. Awe. Shock. The galaxy had underestimated humanity for too long. As the last dreadnought burned, the warship slowly turned toward the Helix command fleet. Its blue light pulsed like a heartbeat, steady and terrifying. In that moment, everyone, humans, Helix, and distant observers, understood something. This was no longer a defense. This was the beginning of humanity's rise. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The wreckage of the Helix dreadnoughts drifted through the darkness like broken monuments. Fires burned silently in the void, and twisted metal floated where proud warships had once stood. Humanity had done the impossible. But the battle was far from over. Deep in the Helix Dominion's core territory, Emperor Salric stood inside his war chamber, surrounded by holographic projections of the defeat. His claws dug into the metal floor as he trembled with rage. "Enough of this," he roared. "If our fleets cannot break them, then we will unleash the Doomsday Protocol." His generals looked at each other nervously. One of them spoke in a shaky voice. "My Emperor, the Doomsday Protocol was banned centuries ago. If we use it, the entire galaxy will." Salric cut him off with a snarl. "The galaxy already laughs at us. I will not let a single primitive planet shame my empire. Prepare the weapon." Back in the solar system, Admiral Kira Dane stood on the command deck, watching the aftermath of the great battle. The warship hovered silently above Saturn's rings, its blue energy dimming slightly, as if it were resting after the intense fight. Human fleets moved in formation around it, picking up survivors and securing the wreckage. Lieutenant Voss approached her. "Admiral, enemy fleets have gone silent. There's no new movement yet, but I don't like it. It feels too quiet." Kira nodded slowly. Her instincts were screaming the same warning. "They're planning something. Keep every scanner active. And stay sharp. This isn't over." In the hidden command center beneath Antarctica, Dr. Lena Torres stared at the warship's readings. "General, look at this," she said urgently. General Rail leaned over her console. "What's happening? The ship, it's changing. Systems deep inside its core are coming online again, but these aren't defensive protocols. These are strategic. It's like it knows something big is coming." Rail's eyes hardened. "Then we'd better be ready." Suddenly, a ripple spread through space. Alarms blared across every human station. The stars themselves seemed to distort. A dark shape emerged at the far edge of the system, a Helix superweapon, larger than any dreadnought, surrounded by escort fleets. Kira's blood ran cold. "What is that?" Voss swallowed hard. "Admiral, scans show it's a planet killer. If that thing fires, Earth will be wiped out." The Helix doomsday weapon slowly unfolded, revealing a core that burned with unstable red energy. Its presence was like a wound in space itself. Even from millions of kilometers away, its power could be felt. Salruk's voice boomed through open frequencies, reaching every human ship. "Earth has defied the Dominion. You have humiliated us. But now, you will burn. No ship can stop this weapon. No world can survive its fire." For the first time since the warship appeared, fear rippled through the human fleets. The weapon's energy charge was already climbing. They had minutes. On the warship, deep within its glowing core chamber, General Rail stood silently. The ship responded to his presence, lights brightening, engines humming like a living creature preparing for battle. He placed his hand on the console. "It's time," he whispered. The warship came alive. Blue energy flared brighter than ever, spreading across its hull like flowing rivers of light. Every human ship received a coded signal, a single command: "Prepare for full engagement." The warship accelerated toward the superweapon at impossible speed. Escorts tried to block its path, but it tore through them like a storm. Missiles and energy beams hit its shields, but nothing slowed it down. In the Helix command center, panic erupted. "It's charging straight at us," one of the officers screamed. Salruk bared his teeth. "Let it come. When the weapon fires, nothing will remain." The superweapon's core reached 70% charge. Space around it began to crackle with unstable energy. Even nearby Helix ships started to retreat to avoid being destroyed by their own weapon. Kira Dane's voice rang out across human channels. "All ships, stay behind the warship. Do not break formation. This is it. We end this here." Inside the warship, the ancient systems activated fully for the first time. Hidden panels opened. Massive arrays unfolded from its sides, glowing with brilliant blue light. It was revealing its true power at last. Dr. Lena Torres stared at the readings. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Oh my God, it was never just a warship. It's a planetary shield generator and a weapon combined. It was built to fight something far worse than Helix." The warship reached the superweapon's perimeter. Red and blue energy clashed like colliding storms. Shockwaves rippled through space. The Helix doomsday weapon fired a pre-charge beam, but the warship absorbed it completely, redirecting the energy into its own systems. And then, it struck back. A single massive beam of pure blue energy shot out from the warship, piercing the heart of the doomsday weapon. The beam was so intense that space itself seemed to twist around it. For a moment, the superweapon resisted, then it cracked. The explosion that followed was like a second sun igniting. Light flooded the system. Helix fleets were thrown into chaos, their formations shattered. When the light faded, the doomsday weapon was gone. Only debris remained. The human fleets cheered. For the first time, the Helix Dominion had unleashed its greatest weapon, and lost. But deep inside the warship, General Rail looked at the glowing core with a heavy expression. "It's awake now," he said quietly. And this was only the beginning. The explosion of the Helix doomsday weapon echoed across the galaxy. For centuries, the Dominion had ruled through fear. Their enemies had been crushed, their rebellions wiped out, and their power unquestioned. But now, their greatest weapon was nothing more than scattered debris. The human warship floated silently in the aftermath. Blue energy flickered gently along its surface, steady and calm, like the beating of a giant heart. Around it, human fleets were celebrating, their comms filled with cheers and relief. Earth had survived. Against all odds, humanity had faced the most powerful empire in the galaxy, and won. But not everyone was celebrating. In the Helix Dominion's capital, Emperor Salric stood in his dark throne room, the light of 100 failing star maps reflecting off his furious eyes. His empire had never suffered defeat like this. How can this be?" he growled. "One planet, one ship, and they destroyed everything." One of his generals spoke hesitantly. "My emperor, our fleets are broken. The weapon is gone. The Dominion's borders are collapsing. Other civilizations are rising against us. They think the humans are unstoppable." Salric slammed his claw against the throne's armrest, shattering it. "Then we will remind them who rules the stars. If Earth wants war, they will get it. This is not over." But in truth, fear had already begun to spread through the Dominion. Dozens of worlds declared independence overnight. Whole fleets deserted, refusing to fight against a power they didn't understand. The Helix were no longer feared, they were running scared. Across the galaxy, other civilizations watched the battle footage in disbelief. On neutral worlds, alien leaders gathered in hidden chambers, whispering in shock. "Did you see it?" one said. "That human warship absorbed the doomsday beam like it was nothing." "They were supposed to be a backwater species," another muttered. "If they have that kind of power, what else have they been hiding?" On Earth, celebrations filled the streets. People stared up at the skies with pride and wonder. For the first time in history, humanity wasn't just defending itself, it had become a galactic power. But beneath the surface, inside the hidden command center under Antarctica, the atmosphere was far from relaxed. Dr. Lena Torres stood in front of the massive holographic projection of the warship. Its blue core pulsed slowly, but new readings were appearing, readings that no one could explain. General Rail joined her. "What's happening?" She pointed at the data. "Systems inside the ship are still unlocking. Whatever we saw during the battle, that wasn't its full power. It's waking up even more functions." Rail frowned. "Can we control it?" Lena hesitated. "Honestly, I don't think anyone controls it. It's like it's remembering something." Meanwhile, Admiral Kira Dane stood on the Terran Defense Station, looking out at the stars. She could feel the change in the galaxy. Helix fleets were retreating. Distress signals were pouring in from their collapsing empire. And alien ambassadors were already sending encrypted messages to Earth. Lieutenant Voss approached cautiously. "Admiral, we're receiving over 300 diplomatic requests from alien worlds. They want alliances." Kira raised an eyebrow. "Alliances? Now they want to talk." Voss nodded. "Yes, ma'am. They're calling us the new galactic power." Kira gave a small, wry smile. "We're not a galactic power. We're just Earth." But the galaxy doesn't seem to believe that anymore. Far away, on the edge of the galaxy, deep space probes detected something unusual. A massive structure, hidden within a dying star system, had suddenly activated. It was ancient, older than any Helix record. And its energy signature matched one thing only: the human warship. The probe transmitted its last signal before vanishing into static. Back at the command center, Lena's console lit up with the alert. Her face went pale. "General, You need to see this. There's something out there. Something big. And it just turned itself on. Rael stared at the screen. The readings were almost identical to the warship, but even stronger. Is it another ship? Lena shook her head slowly. No. It's bigger. Much bigger. Kira received the same alert moments later. She looked at the stars, her mind racing. They thought we were dangerous because of one ship, she whispered. What happens when they realize there's more? In the Helix capital, Salruk received the same intelligence report from his scouts. For a long time, he said nothing. Then a slow, dangerous smile crept across his face. So, the humans are not the only ones with secrets, he murmured. The galaxy was changing fast. Power structures that had existed for thousands of years were crumbling. Rumors spread through space about ancient weapons, hidden fleets, and a forgotten war older than any living species. And at the center of it all was Earth, and the mysterious warship that had shaken the stars. General Rael looked at the glowing image of the newly detected structure. His voice was quiet, but firm. Whatever that is, it's connected to us. And we need to find it before anyone else does. The warship pulsed once more, almost like it was listening. The victory against Helix was real. But it was only the beginning. Something far older had just awakened. The galaxy was holding its breath. News of the strange, ancient structure had spread like wildfire. Every major civilization was scanning the dying star system where the signal had appeared. Some thought it was a weapon. Others whispered it was a control station. A few believed it was something far more dangerous, something that had been sleeping for a very, very long time. On Earth, deep beneath the frozen layers of Antarctica, the command center was alive with activity. Dozens of analysts worked around the clock, tracking the strange energy readings coming from the structure. General Rael stood beside Dr. Lena Torres, both staring at the holographic projection. The massive structure floated above the display, rotating slowly. Its shape was unlike anything they had ever seen, almost like a colossal ring with sharp towers pointing inward. This isn't just a ship, Lena said softly. It looks like a gate. A gate to what? Rael asked. She shook her head. I don't know. But the energy signature is almost identical to the warship's core. Whatever's in there, it's connected to us. Meanwhile, in orbit, Admiral Kira Dane watched as the Terran fleet assembled. Dozens of human warships were forming up, their hulls gleaming under the cold light of distant stars. Lieutenant Voss approached quickly. Admiral, our scouts report multiple alien fleets heading toward the structure. Some are friendly. Others, not so much. Kira's expression hardened. They all want to get there first. Yes, ma'am. The Helix Dominion too. What's left of their fleet is moving in that direction. Emperor Salruk has declared that the structure belongs to the Dominion. Kira almost laughed. After everything that happened, he still thinks he can claim it? Fine. If he wants a fight, he'll get one. Far away, in the dying star system, the structure began to awaken. Massive lightning arcs danced across its ringed towers. The central void started to glow, like a star being born. Ancient mechanisms turned for the first time in millennia. Unmanned probes sent by different species captured the site and broadcast it across the galaxy. Billions watched in silence as something impossible unfolded. Inside the human command center, Lena's console began flashing urgently. She quickly analyzed the readings. Her eyes widened in shock. General, the energy levels are rising faster than we expected. Whatever that thing is, it's going to fully activate soon. Can we shut it down? Rael asked. She hesitated. No. And there's more. The signal from the structure, it's not random. It's a response. Rael frowned. A response to what? She pointed at the warship's hologram. To this. It's answering the warship. Everyone in the room went silent. The warship, still in Earth's orbit, suddenly powered up. Its blue energy core pulsed faster, matching the rhythm of the structure's light. It was like they were talking to each other in some ancient, forgotten language. Admiral Kira received the alert seconds later. "The ship is moving," Voss shouted. Kira's eyes widened. "What do you mean moving?" "The warship is leaving orbit, Admiral. It's heading straight for the structure." For a brief moment, all of humanity watched their greatest weapon fly into deep space, on its own. No crew. No orders. No hesitation. In the Helix capital, Emperor Salric leaned forward as the broadcast played. His advisors were panicking, but he smiled coldly. "Good. Let the humans lead us to the prize." Within hours, the warship reached the dying star system. Hundreds of alien fleets were already there, forming a chaotic ring around the structure. The moment the human ship arrived, every scanner focused on it. And then something unexpected happened. The fleets that had been preparing to fight suddenly went quiet. The warship began to broadcast a massive energy wave, calm, steady, powerful. The structure answered back. The space between them rippled like water, and then it opened. A giant portal formed inside the ring structure, swirling with blinding white light. Across the galaxy, civilizations froze in shock. No one had ever seen anything like it. Inside the command center, Lena whispered, "This isn't a weapon. It's a path." General Rail stared at the portal. "A path to where?" Kira's voice came over the comm. "General, the warship is entering the portal. We can't stop it." The giant ship moved forward without fear, vanishing into the swirling light. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then the portal stabilized. New signals began pouring out of it, signals that didn't match anything in galactic databases. They were strong, structured, intelligent. Lena slowly turned toward Rail. Her voice trembled. "General, something out there just answered back." In the Helix capital, Emperor Salric's smile faded as he heard the same signal. For the first time, true fear flashed across his eyes. The galaxy had just witnessed Earth destroy an empire. Now it was watching humanity open a doorway to something far older. No one knew what waited beyond that gate. But one thing was clear, everything was about to change. As the portal shone brighter, Admiral Kira gave a single, steady order. "Prepare the fleet. We're going in after it." The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. Humanity had struck back. And now, they were stepping into the unknown.